It's the end of World War I. The League of Nations granted the Empire of Japan what they called the South Pacific Mandate. Japan was an ally of the United States and its allies against the war against the Kaiser. So the League of Nations saw fit to award Japan a group of islands in the South Pacific. It's 1919. We now go ahead nearly 30 years. 30 years. In a very small island archipelago called the Marshall Islands. It is October 22nd, 1941. This is a major Japanese seaplane base. It's an island unto its own. Where the minerals have been extracted. And I will let the pictures do the talking. This is nothing more than a moment in time. You can almost hear the Japanese. After all, it's their mandated island. And they have been working this island. Sorry for the jumping around. An armored car. Fire extinguisher. An oil storage tank in the jungles. Remember, it is October 22nd, 1941. And this is Japan's premier seaplane base. Clogs from 1937. Notice the tracks. And this behemoth. and Emily. Let's pretend we're flying now. We're flying, taking, let's say, pictures. Flying over the island. Sorry. There's really no way to edit some of this out. We see something with tracks. Is there a railroad? Ah, it doesn't appear to be what you think, because underneath this code for camouflage is this. Called a peat. The Japanese, this is one of their premier notice the chain hoist system. They're working on their propeller. The cowling is off. Clever, aren't they? Ah, Main Street. He appears to be very well mudded up, doesn't he? Very realistic. Why, the men, they're actually in uniform. And what do we have here? We're flying again. What that seems to be? It seems to be some sort of a over the water. If you realize the Japanese were very, very, very good horsemen. They utilized horses to the utmost advantage. And here this is an actual Japanese landing craft. An actual Japanese landing craft. Interesting, huh? And we'll get to those guys here in a minute. We're flying again. here? What do we have here? Is that a train? Indeed. But now for detail. Detail, detail, detail. Detail, detail, detail. We're flying again. We're flying again. Over the harbor. What is that? That is a norm. Codenamed Norm. And we have another Pete. But alas, it's a railroad. Alas, it's a mountain. What do we have here? Very clever. The Japanese were very, very clever. They knew how to do caves. Remember, they've had control of this island since 1919. So they had a good start on doing what they wanted. And they provided the manpower. Either the natives or the Koreans to do the manpower to take it apart and do as they will. And yes, let's not forget this. This is a mountain that they have carved into what they want. And what do we have here? Yes, that indeed is a helicopter. It's called a kubata in Japanese, simulating firing the AA battery. The crane. That is a RUFE. It's a zero with floats, basically. A Japanese zero with floats. Pretty amazing. And we haven't even gotten to these guys yet. Oh, we will. Very interesting. Now, as I say, the Japanese, much to our horror, as our huge battleships battled and bombarded these islands, the Marines and those LCVPs could not believe that there would be a single solitary human being left on that island. But alas, as I say, The Japanese were very clever. Clever indeed. For they knew how, exactly how, mining, cave dwelling, setting up an emergency bunker, if you will, table maps, wall maps, telephones, meetings. Clever they were. Clever indeed. We had no idea. We had no idea the capacity to which they could tear into a mountain and bring about some of the most clever disguises. Not to mention the vulnerability that they caused. A chiha. It looks like it's leading a party. And in the back, again, horses. Oh, they were clever indeed. They were very, very clever. They knew how to make defensive systems. They were very, very, very good at it. It is kind of dark and probably won't get the detail for this, but so here we are, sitting in this incredible island, totally and completely once again. The Japanese were very formidable opponents. They weren't buck-toothed, far-sighted, couldn't see, couldn't do anything for themselves. They were easy. We were going to murder them. And then, well, the rest is history. Pumping fresh water into the boats. Clever. Swab the decks. Watch the systems. Looks like we've got men coming aboard, some going ashore, as well as we're restocking, replenishing. Meetings on the captains. Yes, indeed. Formidable and suicidal. We thought it was suicide. To them it was Bushido. Ancient warriors. Remember now, this is 1941, October. And this is a Marshall Island Seaplane Base. It is October 1941. take your journey with us as this Emily pulls away. She's going aboard. Hope you enjoyed your trip.